Okay, and I actually started the recording at the right time. So I'm very happy to see we've got 20 participants today, Kristine. And so if you weren't here, actually it looked like probably 50% or so weren't here for Facebook 101. We went through that on Tuesday with Kristine, and she is the Facebook guru. So I'm very excited to have her come and talk to us today about some further tips and tricks to get us on Facebook and get us so that we are using that platform and reaching our customers, because that is the most important thing when we're using Facebook for our businesses. So I know you can't give her a round of applause, but welcome everyone, and welcome Kristine.
Hi, thanks Sandra, and thanks everyone for joining. Again, my name is Kristine Russell, and for the last almost 2.5 years, I've been working with Tank Concepts as our team's digital media strategist. I work closely with our clients to create strategies for their social media communications. I provide one-on-one training and analytics analysis for our monthly contract clients. On top of that, I'm also responsible for some of our website builds, mostly on the e-commerce side. So this is what Facebook 2.0, and 2 days ago, we talked a little bit about kind of the basics of Facebook. And so on this session, we'll be focusing on utilizing the tools like stories, events, Facebook Lives and groups, as well as Facebook Business Manager. First, I want to do a little recap on what we discussed on Facebook 1.0, because I want to remind you that that's where it starts. On Tuesday, we chatted about what to post, when to post, and how to post, the goals of Facebook and what you want to achieve by using it. We talked about posting authentic content to reach your Doris, the 80-20 rule of posting, and connecting your customers and clients digitally. Connecting with your customers and clients digitally to make them feel like they already know you and your business. We talked about the technical piece of Facebook, which included scheduling posts as well as the Pages app. We didn't receive any specific questions, I don't think. Sandra, you didn't get any. Did you get any questions specifically from that? Okay. But if anyone has any questions from 101, I don't know if there was a lot of people that were on again, like from the poll said, but please feel free to reach out. You can ask us any questions throughout the webinar, and I can do my best to answer them closer to the end. Or you're more than welcome to email us or send us a message on Facebook. And so for those of you who did register, the first session will also be sent out by email with the recording. So if you need to, it's available to rewatch. So let's get started. The first, I am going to share my screen, if that's okay, guys. Oh, oh, here we go. Okay. Now let's go. Okay. The first, can everybody see my screen? And if you guys can just tell me, because I can't see the comments now.
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay. So the first, I'm just gonna make this bigger. Whoa, that wasn't supposed to happen. Sorry, I just clicked something. Okay. So the first section we're going to talk about is Facebook stories. And we've talked a lot about this over the last couple webinars, and I'm going to say it again. Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook love authentic engagement. And they should be honestly, because I can probably speak for everyone that we as consumers love the authentic posts by our friends and the businesses we follow on Facebook. Who are the ones we unfollow? The ones that are spammy, post irrelevant content, things that just there is no interest in. And I think I can say we all have some spammy friends. Stories are the perfect way to help facilitate authentic engagement. It allows you to tell a story in a simple, engaging way. And it's not as curated like it would be on your feed. So a little less thought process, I guess I could say, can go into putting into your stories. Facebook is similar to the Snapchat social media platform. Facebook and Instagram stories is a way to share content and videos, and they're only up for a 24-hour period. Stories are a great way to share the behind the scenes, quick content, or do market research for your business. It's also a way to increase engagement on your Facebook page posts. If you're regularly posting content to your stories that people are finding engaging and are wanting to watch consistently, Facebook will begin to feed your Facebook posts on your page to those people more frequently. It's all how Facebook recognizes authentic engagement. Stories can offer polls, questions, gifts, countdown, and now actually through the Instagram piece of this, and I will touch on that a little bit. Through Instagram, you can now actually add music that is licensed and available to use on your Instagram story posts. They also allows for a more authentic experience, and it can also showcase a humorous side of you or your business. On Tuesday, I wish some of you were on Tuesday now, because I'm going to go back to talking about poop. So on Tuesday, I used the poop fertilizer analogy in my examples. And today I'm going to use something that's I'm a little more familiar with, although after having three kids, poop is a well-known topic in my house. We're going to use the example of a retail clothing store, because prior to working with TAG, I owned and operated a children's clothing line, which was sold primarily online. That's the profile that you're seeing now is actually my Facebook page. My clothing line is called Rustic Pickle. And so I'm going to show you in real time what these features look like, because I've utilized all of them. The only one I'm not going to really be able to show you is a live video, because there aren't any on my feed right now. But I can show you how to set up a live video on your feed. So for retail clothing, or any store really, or really any businesses, stories can be used to show sneak peeks. So what I used to use Facebook stories for was to show unboxing of a new product line that I brought in, or fun behind the scenes of my staff, which was just me. So it was just me. But when you use it for your own business, you can use your staff in there as well. I could also run quick flash sales, because they would only be up for 24 hours. And the way to find that flash sale was through the stories. So by prompting people to check the stories is where they can go and find this code to use online. So you can position some of your posts on your feed to say, go check out our stories to find the sale code, or to find the sneak peek. So now you're driving your traffic into two different applications within Facebook, which will help increase your engagement and show Facebook that you're showing your customers or clients valuable content that they want to see. Oh my goodness, I don't know how to mute that. You can also, on some of the things, you can also post specific items that you sell, or featured items, or any of that kind of stuff that might not be great for a feed post, but would be really great to showcase in your stories. And then on there, you can run a poll. I used to run polls on colors. So for me, when I was sending information to my manufacturer for new colors, I would run a poll on a color palette that I had selected and see what my customers, if they liked it or didn't like it, that type of thing. It gives you that market research piece that can be really valuable for sales in your business down the road. Stories can also be linked directly to Instagram. So can you send, or Dee, can you put up another poll quickly, actually, now that I think about it? Those who are on Instagram right now for their business. And I'll talk a little bit while she's putting that poll up. Instagram and Facebook are both, Instagram is now owned by Facebook. So, okay, so we've got a few that, oh no, that's the old one. So there is the opportunity for Facebook, so you can connect your Facebook page to your Instagram page, and so that there is a relation between the pages. And like we talked about in 101, creating the same username for your Facebook page and your Instagram page is a great way to create that brand recognition between the two. You'll see right here, and I have my cursor here, but you'll see right here is the the username here for Facebook. And if you go back to 101, you'll be able to see some instruction on how to set that up. And so one of the things that we always suggest is there is the capability of posting from Instagram, and that post will directly go to your Facebook page feed, not your stories, but your Facebook page feed. That's one thing that we discourage. One of the reasons being is the way you post on Instagram is very different than the way you post on Facebook. So if you're making a post on Instagram and you've tagged, let's say we've tagged tag concepts, and there's that @ symbol in front on there. So if you're writing a post, you know, today's a great day at tag concepts, and we've tagged that business, and then you've used 15 or 20 hashtags in your post, that exact post is going to copy over to Facebook. And the hashtags are not quite relevant. We touched about this in Facebook 101 as well, is you're not actually able to then, if it copies over, your tag does not carry over. And so instead it views as with the @ symbol tag concepts, which doesn't tag the business. So I hope that makes a little bit of sense. The best way to do that is create a post and some posts aren't relevant for Instagram or they're relevant for Facebook. So when you're planning out your posts, just be sure to see, okay, well, I do kind of want to put the same content on Instagram as I do on Facebook. But I want to say more on Facebook because it's more of a place where people will read, whereas Instagram is a place of visual photos with a smaller amount of content. But in saying that, there is a benefit of making sure that the setting on your Instagram page will link on your stories to your Facebook stories. So when you've posted on your stories on Instagram, because they're only up for 24 hours, you can actually have them post to your Facebook page stories on Facebook. That's great because that kind of eliminates that double work that you want to do. And then also creates that opportunity for people to see at the top of their feed the stories. So you'll see up here on this is my personal feed, you will see all of the different stories that are available at the top. And if I had posted a story on Rustic Pickle, you would see it up there. Tag, you would see it up there. All of those, anybody that you follow, you will see up there. Once you click on those, you're telling Facebook that you like what that business has posted, and you're likely now to see what they've posted on their actual Facebook feed for a Facebook feed post. But I'll step back a little bit on the stories, because some of you that aren't on Instagram, what was the poll answer on that? Did we see that? No? Did we put a poll on who was using Instagram for their business?
I created the poll, but I don't have the ability to share it. So Dee, there should be a second poll in there.
Oh, yes. Yes. Sorry, guys. There you go.
Okay, I'm just curious because it's hard to, I want to focus on Facebook mostly, but there are a lot of benefits of having both, and there's a lot of crossover between Facebook and Instagram. So I just want to make sure I want to make sure that I'm not doing too much Instagram if there's not a lot of Instagram users for their business.
So it looks like 59% are on Instagram.
Okay, so that's a little more than half. So I'll where it's applicable, I'll touch on it. It's mostly just this stories piece where we'll talk about the Instagram and Facebook crossover, because the rest is not doesn't really cross over. So that stories is a fantastic way. There's a lot of people that don't watch them, but I'm a regular stories user because you always can see that there's always that either that funny or that I don't have a lot of time to scroll Facebook. So if I just click the stories and they automatically go through every 15 seconds, then I can catch a lot of information from a lot of the people that I follow in a really short period of time.
I'm going to just quickly jump into, because that social media marketing world, and I know we've talked about this a few times, they've continued over the last few years to talk about the importance of stories and how they're only going to continue to grow. So for any of you business owners right now that aren't using it, getting on board with stories right now only puts you ahead of the curve of many others that aren't. Mark Zuckerberg loves stories because it's the best way to make authentic engagement. And like Kristine said, you can have a lot of fun with it and it's really easy. So it should be a big part of your focus.
So what I'll do is I'll show you today, because again, Instagram isn't great from a desktop, so it's really hard for me to, I can't screen share an Instagram because I can't do a story there, but I'm going to show you how to just do a story right from your Facebook page. We may be doing an Instagram session, so we'll just keep you posted on that. And then there will be a little bit more of a step-by-step, hopefully, process on how to do some of those things. So up here is where you would change your profile photo. This is where we said it needed to be sized properly for the icon space. And typically we suggest using your logo here so that there is some brand recognition when people land on your page. This little plus button here will give you the opportunity to change your profile photo. My computer's slow. Or create a story. There's a create a story button here. So this is where you can actually write a post or add a photo or check in somewhere or create a feeling or an activity, and you can put it in here. So for instance, if I was to run a sale, I would put 50% off, use code yay. And then you have the ability to share it to your newsfeed, and you have the ability to share it to just your story where it's only up for 24 hours. So this is where you can decide whether or not the content would be relevant for your Facebook feed. Typically what we suggest for our clients is to just utilize stories for stories. Don't put your story posts on your feed, because again, story posts aren't curated. They don't have the ability to create the split up paragraphs or the links or any of that kind of stuff to click on. And you don't want your feed to look spammy with a business feed. So we always suggest just utilize it on your 24 hours. If I wanted to give this code to just my followers on my page, I would do it down here where my cursor is, and probably jazz it up a little bit more, put the link to my shop on there so that people could see that. And then, so you just unclick that, and then you could share now. Instagram stories has a lot more capability when it comes to adding more things. When you're doing stories from your desktop, you're really limited. When you do stories from your phone, though, through the Pages app, you do have the ability to add more things like the weather. I think you can add the time on there. I think you can add music on Facebook stories, but I'm not 100% sure. I can probably check that right now. I know you can on Instagram stories, but I'm not sure if you can. I'm going to just check for you. Yes, you can add music now too. You can add a boomerang, all of those things, same sort of capabilities as Instagram. And then you would just press share now. Maybe before I go, I think that's probably it. But again, stories is a great way to show that behind the scenes, those quick things, what's happening in your office. Tag utilizes stories quite frequently. And we always seem to have a bit of fun. That's kind of our fun piece is through our stories and the behind the scenes and just stuff that's going on in your office or on the street that you have your business on or anything like that. Again, going back to Facebook 101, one of the things that you want to be able to show your customers is who you are and where you are before they've even walked in the door. And stories is a great way to do that. Does maybe what we'll do is I'll stop at each section so it doesn't we're not jumping back and forth. Does anybody have questions about stories? And if you can read them to me, I can't see when I'm screen sharing.
Kristine, one of the questions is how to connect their Instagram and Facebook pages for stories.
Okay, so there's two ways to do that. We can go up into the settings. Yes, I don't want to post that. let me find here. So when you get to this screen, and we showed this screen in our last one, when you get to this screen, on the left-hand side of the page, you're going to see Instagram, and you're going to click it. You can also link it from Instagram. But then you'll see here that you can link it. I'm not going to unlink it, but you can link it down here. Here's going to ask me to disconnect it, but you'll be able to connect it at the top. But since mine's already connected, sorry, I have something in my eye. Since mine's already connected, I can't show you where it's connected, but you can link it here. You can also link it in Instagram, and I'm gonna see if I can show you my phone in the picture. So let's see, I don't know. Oh no, because I'm oh yeah, you can still see my phone. So up here, this is not like the best idea. And I can, if we do an Instagram 101, I'll be able to show you guys. Just one second, I'm just trying to find. Oh, hold on. Sorry, it's not easy when I'm, okay. So if you click, I clicked the wrong thing. I clicked COVID business support. So if you click those 3 lines in your top right-hand corner of your screen, you're gonna see a list, and there's going to be settings, and you'll click your settings, and then you'll you're gonna click account. And then under account, you're going to click linked accounts. And up here, you're going to see that I've linked my Facebook page to my business profile. Does everybody see that okay? And again, if we do an Instagram session, I'll be able to, or one of us will be able to show you exactly some of the other features of Instagram, but you can do it in both ways. So now, any other questions pop up? Did that help answer that question? You will have to have a business account on Instagram, a business profile, and there's a way to switch from a personal to a business in order to link the account. So just be aware of that. Otherwise, you will link your business to your personal, and then your business posts, or sorry, your business stories will go to your personal stories. And so you don't want that. So just make sure that you have a business Instagram account. And then you're linking to your page. Did any other questions come? No, we're good. Okay. Okay, so now we are going to move on. I'm going to go back to the page. We're going to move on to groups. Facebook groups are a different way to engage your followers. They create a sense of community and can be used as a tool to build deeper relationships with those who you want to see the value in the products and services that you provide. You can think of your group as your business's own private fan club, for instance. So here are some of the differences between groups and pages. Depending on your followers' privacy settings for your specific group, anytime a post is made, those followers will get notified. Facebook pages don't provide the same notification options. Sometimes you'll get the odd notification that a page has posted, and that's usually what Facebook usually does that purposely when you've been active on a page, so that you're not missing the content that they think you want to see. It doesn't happen very often because, again, although Mark Zuckerberg is interested in creating connections, he's also interested in making billions of dollars. And so the way that he positions it that businesses are seen is that you pay for your advertising. But groups he hasn't quite really tapped into yet from a paid side. I think, yeah, it might come, but for now, businesses utilizing groups has been really, really beneficial. And in those groups, you have the ability to interact with your group as either your business or as yourself personally. And one of the things that I do suggest and what I used to do, and I'll show you the group that I created for Rustic Pickle, one of the things that I used to do is I used to kind of switch back and forth between interacting as myself and interacting as the business profile. I tended more to, I got a better response, however, by interacting as me, not as Rustic Pickle in the group. People love to see who is behind the brand or who is behind the business, and they feel like they get to know you that way. And again, going back to the way you are interacting on social media, lets your clients know who you are as the business owner before they even know who you are. Group settings can also be, groups can be linked to your page, which I will show you on here. If you look on the left-hand side again, this is where we talked about last week about, or sorry, 2 days ago about filling out all the relevant information for your page. But there's a section here for groups. When you click on groups, sorry, I just need a drink. When you click on groups, you're going to see that I have 3 separate groups created under Rustic Pickle. So the first group is the groups that I'm going to touch on today that are really good for your business. The last 2 groups I have there, I used to have a little we call them brand reps. And so all over the world, I had kids that their moms dressed them in my clothes and took pictures for me in exchange for free clothing. So that was the group I created to sort of manage that side of my business. So, I mean, you can even have a group for your employees. That's a secret group. These 2 bottom ones were secret groups, and you can see that because you can't share them. And so those are a great way to engage your employees too, if you wanted to. If you had operated a business that maybe had different branches or employees that worked outside of your local area, that's another great way to utilize groups. But we're going to talk about utilizing groups for the purpose of selling more so. Group settings can be set as secret, closed, or public. Now, this group here is a closed group, or sorry, it's a private group or closed group. These guys are secret. These ones are private, but they're also secret. There's different settings that you can have. But this private group is what I called my VIP group. And having those settings, it also allows you to limit in your group who is in your group, whereas your Facebook page is open to everyone, and everyone everywhere can see a Facebook page, where a group is a little bit more of a curated audience. Many people will be more inclined to engage in a group than on a page if it is secret or closed, because they know that their privacy is protected that way, unless you have a negative comment, or somebody wanting to put in a negative anything. They love it. The more public it is, the better it is for them. But when it comes to sort of an engagement group, or a group where people want to ask a question but don't want to message the page, groups are a great way to do that. So we're going to go into that group. I have my business isn't operating anymore, so bear with me, because there might be a few requests in here that I haven't checked, but I have the pages up still, so just so that I could use them as an example. Oh gosh. Okay, so now we're going to go back and we're going to talk about why did I start a group for my retail clothing line. I wanted to be able to engage my most loyal customers, and I wanted to be able to have a place where I could provide sneak peeks. I could ask poll questions on style, just like I would do in my stories, give away special discounts, have giveaways for those members in that group. If you decide to set up a group for your Facebook page, you can also share that group as a post on your page. And it still remains a private group, but it allows people just say, oh, hey, I just started a VIP group. If anyone is interested in joining, please click here, and they can join that group as well. Again, having a closed group provides your members a sense of privacy, as well as it also provides a sense of privilege to be a part of a group that nobody else is or not everyone else is a part of, I guess, right? So I'm going to show you on here the group that I created for, this is the VIP group here. You can see up here that it's a group by Rustic Pickle. And then down here, utilizing announcements is great because it's for people that just first pop onto your page. They'll either see the most important relevant content or even just the backstory about why I started my shop. It's long-winded, so we won't read it today. And then here is where you'll see I had a buy, sell, trade thread put out for people that wanted to resell their rustic pickle within that small group community. And so they were able to put in what they were selling and the price, and then they would make arrangements on their own. And then here was also a way where people were able to share pictures of their kids in my clothing. So they could go on here and post, and it created a really great community of, and this was mostly moms, so a really great community of moms, and they became friends. Some of them live in Australia, some of them live in the UK, the United States, some of them are local, which was great. And this lady liked to, her little guy was so cute. So this was the second round of clothes. Her older child wore these ones, and then now her younger child used them. So here I did create a poll. I had some free Paw Patrol tickets in January, and so I was giving them away. And so this was a great place. I was finding out who was going, and then I gave them away. And then you've got, people sharing photos of their kids in my clothes. Here's a sale post that I put in here on Boxing Day, and the code was here. And this was just privy to my VIP group. I ran a sale though on my main page and on Instagram, but it was actually a lesser amount. So that also drives people to want to be a part of that VIP piece or that group. And I would have to say that this group was more effective for me in sales than my Instagram and my Facebook page combined. And those combined groups had, they probably have for over 32,000 followers. But the group was where I saw a great return on my investment in time in using the group. Does anybody have any questions? I was able to also be a little bit more open and real in this group when talking to people. The group wasn't always just about selling either. The group was also about, we would post funny mom memes or GIFs and some things that maybe were a little bit more offside than what I would have posted on my professional business page. But my audience generated a lot of that content. It wasn't a lot of me posting in here. It was a lot of my audience and my members in the group that were engaging so heavily in this group. Did we have any questions about groups?
So, Kristine, there is a question from Corey, and it's in regards to changing the business handle on Facebook so that it matches Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's a few steps we have to take, but do you want to?
Yeah, I can go. I got to go back. I got to go out of here and go back to my page. Whoops.
I know that this is often a question, and it is something that we recommend. So, Corey, you're 100% right to think of just trying to keep your handles the same across all platforms that you're on. So if you're on Twitter, if you're on Facebook, Instagram, if you can have the same handle, it makes it less confusing for any of the individuals that are trying to find you.
Just bear with me because I just got to figure out where it is.
And every once in a while, Facebook and Instagram, actually not every once in a while, but all the time, they like to switch things up on us. So
when I haven't been
where we think it's supposed to be, it tends to get moved a little bit.
Just give me a second and I'll.
They're really good at making our jobs difficult. But that's why we have people like Kristine.
Hey, do you see the question from Jamie while Kristine is looking up the answer to the last one? How frequently do you post in a group versus on your feed?
Well, while Kristine answers that, I can, looks for that, I can answer it if you want, Kristine.
Sure.
So With groups, the nice thing is you're able to have people see your posts on a regular basis. And so if you are posting content that they're interested in, they will stay engaged. I guess it depends on how often or what kind of content you have and what you're thinking of posting. I know when Kristine ran her group, she was typically posting 1 or 2 times a day is what I was seeing because I was a part of her group. But if I do join a group, I'm only interested in belonging to that group if I find the content engaging, because otherwise it spams my feed. So that's my biggest piece of advice. And I think across the board, all of us would be saying that just make sure your content is relevant. If you're seeing people engage with it, that means they want more of it. If it's radio silence, then just adjust your strategy. There's a lot of testing involved in posting in a group or posting on your page. And so just pay attention to those analytics that are easy to recognize just based on how much engagement you receive and adjust accordingly. It's funny, there's some things that we will post on tag and I'll think, oh, this one's going to do great. And it doesn't. But maybe it does great on LinkedIn. So often the content you're creating may perform better on a different platform as well. So don't get too discouraged if you don't see the same engagement on Facebook, because I know for tag, we have a very different audience on tag than we do on LinkedIn. Do you need me to keep talking, Kristine?
Yeah, keep talking.
And this is where we need a break and bring someone like Trevor Moore on for a magic show, except for he's awful at technology and he might shut the whole webinar down. If he's on here, I apologize, Trev, but it's true. Sorry, Jamie, I see overposting is my concern if they are getting the group posts. Instagram as well as posts on the main feed. So yes, 100%. Analytics is key. Watch what people are looking for. The other thing that you'll see in your analytics when you're reviewing things is you'll actually notice when your followers are on the most. I was actually just reviewing this today for tag, paying attention to when do I find most of our followers are on our platforms reviewing our content. So being able to follow that information, your analytics, it's power, right? Information is power. They've always said that, and it definitely is for social media. That's why we utilize people like Kristine to analyze all of our clients' platforms, because that's the only way we can get better.
Tell me it's here. It used to be here.
You know what we can also do is we can, we'll confirm, Corey, because they've
I found it.
Oh, you found it.
If you go on the left-hand side when you're on your page, under the About section, there's this general piece. See where its username is here. And you can edit it here, and then save. Good? Is that good? So if you're on your page, you click the About on the left-hand side. You'll need to do it from your desktop because I'm not sure if you can change it on a mobile app. You click About, and then it's just right here. Good. Any other questions? No? Yes? Yes, no?
Nothing right now, Kristine.
Okay. So the next piece we're going to talk about are events. Events in a way function a little similar to groups when it comes to the engagement piece. And some of the perks of events are just like groups. Those who RSVP interested or going will receive notifications of posts within the event. And those notifications start to show up on the friends feeds, as well as to show that Kristine Russell is going to, or Kristine Russell is interested in an event. I had when I RSVP'd for Facebook 101 through Apex on the Facebook page, I had a lot of people liking that I was going to Facebook 101 out of my friends group on my normal feed. So this helps with the promotions of your event in an organic way. Because if you've created an event and you've invited a bunch of people, and then those people start to RSVP that they're going or they're interested, they won't get any notification that if they've declined to go. or not going. But if they've replied that they're going or interested, that shows up on their feed. So then all their friends see that, and then you might start to get people interested in going to your event that don't even follow your page because they saw that their friend was going to your event. So another perk of events through social media and through Facebook is that events save money. So instead of having invitations or print media created, simply utilizing the tools that you already have will be a huge money saver. Obviously, you'll need to gauge where your client base is, so the age and demographic. If they're not Facebook users, then creating a Facebook event might not be the best way to get that engagement for, let's say you're running a sale, or you're having a VIP event, or you're having a, if you're having an open house or something. If your users aren't on there, then you're likely not going to see you're likely not going to see a great return on your investment of money or time, and you may need to put into using things like print ads or print invitations for that user demographic that might not be on social media. Setting up events on Facebook also save time. Setting up an event can literally take minutes to actually set up. As with groups, it allows the opportunity to actually invite those in your business and personal audience, as well as once the event is created on your page, your audience will see that you have created an event on your page. So not only can you invite your friends and family, those people that follow your page will see that you've created an event. You can invite friends that you think will like this event right through the event, and you can also have other people do the same. So other people in your circle of friends can invite friends to your event. So this helps increase the invite list for your public events. Privacy settings on events can also have the capability to be public or private. So again, going back to if you're running a sale with your retail store and you wanted it to be a private event, it can be a private event, or it can be a public event for everybody to see. So you just gauge on what you're using that event for and what kind of turnout you want to see in that event. Similar to traditional invitations, you can track the Rsvps. This will help with analyzing the demographic that you've reached with that event, the time of day of the event, the day of week of the event, and that event analytics can be used for when you're creating future events. Events can either be virtual, online, or in person. So you could create an event that is an online sale, just like we can do inside the group. Or you can create an event that actually is at a physical location. So maybe your store, or your business, or it's an open house. If you're a realtor, you can have an event for an open house. I know Corey's on here, which I'm going to use an example there, is creating an event for showcasing some new flooring that's come into the shop, and you want people to come in and see the new flooring, that it's set up just for a special event for the flooring or a sale or things like that. So we can go back to the retail clothing store example. I'm going to see where I've got if I had some old events on here. Yeah. So I do have some other events that I created. So I was in a number of markets. I didn't usually do events for my sales because I ran my sales right in my VIP group. This is kind of going a little bit deeper, but you can actually create events in your groups as well. So I would create events. I would create events in my group for sales. Okay. I run a PPE medicine hat group as well, and somebody can't find the key. So anyways, I would put all my events that I was going to be at. So at Medalta, I was in a number okay, she found it. I was at a number of markets at Heartbreakers. And so I would put all my events that I was in there on my Facebook page so that people could would know that I was going to be there and I would share those events. It would also gauge for me kind of what audience I was expecting to see at those events. You also you can post in the events, which I'm wondering if I can. Yeah, I can probably go. Let's see what happens if I did much posting in here. Oh, we'll go. You can go to discussion, and then you can see here. So the about is always up here. It will tell you where it is, when it is. You can see how many went that said they went, how many were interested. You can go to the discussion where you can make posts in the event. I ran a market. I created this market for a bunch of small shops at Meddelta. And so in here was a great way for me to get some feedback on the market and how many attended, anything that they had comments on about how they loved, what they loved about it, what they'd like to see different, things like that. And then you can see here that the people that were going were tagging their friends to come. Let's see some other events. Maybe it can give you an idea. Oop, that's not where I want to be. So I'll show you too, when you're on your main Facebook page, if you click, this is my main personal feed, you can click pages. This is where I'm showing you guys from. Let's just go back. Otherwise, and then you click your pages and then you can find your page on there. Events are also a great way if you have a business that maybe has different target audiences in your business. So I'm going to see if I can think of an example. Let's use the example of the Canalta Center is a good one. I'm going to use that one just because they were utilizing events. And one of the things with the Canalta Center is they created events for all of their shows. And they were able to then be able to target those audiences that were interested in those shows. So for instance, they created an event for Brad Paisley. They promoted it multiple times on their regular feed, but they utilized the event more so that they could create a larger engagement of the people that were interested in that particular show. One of the things that you want to make sure that you're cautious of too is that you don't want to overpost. I can't remember who mentioned that earlier. Somebody mentioned about being concerned about overposting. Using events is a great way to limit the amount that you're posting. But when you are posting and you want to post more frequently, you're actually hitting the audience that you want to hit. So events and groups, like I said, are great for that. Events more so in a more curated audience, because those people are interested in that particular event that you're putting on, or sale you're having, or show you're putting on, things like that. Does anybody have questions about events?
Yeah, so how do you target somebody in an event? Like when I put an event up on the Apex site, like I just assume that everybody wants to see it and wants to come to my events, because like who wouldn't want to?
Right.
But how do I target specific people within my...
So you won't be able to target by the invitation, but when I mean target, I mean those that are interested. That's your target audience, and that's where you're going to want to utilize posting in the event of the audience that you've already captured. There's other ways to post in the event and say, you know, this is what, giving a little bit more information about what to expect in the event. So let's say for the Instagram event that you might create for Apex, you could, if you created it a little bit further in advance, you could actually post in there even once a day, leading up to some of the topics that are going to be discussed in a little bit more detail. You could also have your presenters go in and post in the event too, if you wanted to give a bio background, or post a video in there about what they're going to be discussing, just to get some more engagement and get people excited to join. I mean, you had lots of people register, and I mean, webinars are tough because you don't know what's going to pop up that day. You can say you're going to jump on the webinar, but then, oh shoot, I got to do this. But if you create a little bit more of an excitement within that event, you might see a better turnout of people that actually do actually make sure that they set aside the time to be able to join.
Okay, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The other thing that you can do, sorry, peanut gallery here, is you can invite the people that you think would have interest. And so one of the benefits I feel that we have as a team is because we have lots of individuals, Canalta Center as a good example, because we were managing that account, whenever there was an event coming up, our team would go in and invite the individuals that we thought might have an interest in that particular artist coming to Canalta. So same for Apex, if there's a particular event and your contact list, your friend list, you think there's individuals on there that would be interested, that's a good way to specifically target them.
Can you link it at all to Mailchimp?
Not through Facebook.
Okay.
But what you can do is when you create your Mailchimp email, you can put the link to the event. So create the event on Facebook first, then create the Mailchimp and put the link. So whether you create it as a button and then extension with the link to like join our Facebook event for more information, they click there, it takes them to Facebook, and then they can join the event. So a lot of ways to utilize the same content on different platforms. Does anybody have any other questions? Nope. Nope. Okay. So we'll move on. Where are we at for time? Okay. Last week, 2 days ago, I was quick. This one's a little bit longer.
I lied. There's one other question in here
sure.
that we missed, I think, and it is, where do you find the analytics?
Okay. So let me just see. Up at the top. So now I'm in Business Manager. Just a minute. I want to get out of Business Manager. Just give me a second. Okay. So I'm going to go back into the page. So up at the top. Okay. So let me just show you here. If you scroll down and you actually look at your posts, on each post, you're going to see some analytics on your post. So you're going to see here how many people were reached, how many people engaged. This didn't get very good engagement. Don't judge me. I'm going to show you one that's done quite well. For me, the funny mom quotes did really well. So here's one. Here's one where I also utilized hashtags on my Facebook posts, like we talked about in 101, where they were funny. So this is quite funny. If anybody has kids, and they would know that this probably happened to them in their lifetime. And then here is where I was able to actually utilize hashtags that were funny related to my personal experience with this quote. Sorry, there is bad language. I'm a little bit more.
We are seeing a trend with the poop.
Oh yeah, I did. I shit myself. That's correct. Okay. So here you're going to see the engagement was really good. There was 3,100 people that it saw, 302 engagements, and I had 36 comments and 7 shares, plus 72 likes. And the engagement on here was really funny, like people talking anecdotally about their experience with having their kids staring at them right in the face in the middle of the night and scaring them. And then you'll see down here, if you want a bigger insights to your analytics, there is an insights column at the very top when you're on your page. You can also see that on your mobile app, and you can see in the last, usually it only goes back unless you want to export the data. It's a little bit more difficult to read. They utilize an Excel spreadsheet, and it's not user friendly. You'd think they would have come out with something a little bit easier to read. But if you're just wanting to look at from a month rolling standpoint of your analytics, this is where you'll see all of this. You'll see the actions on your page, which would be links, like clicking the link, some of the links on your page or moving throughout your page likes, reach. Again, my page has not been active since December of last year. So my engagement was quite a bit higher when it was active. And you can see where this is all organic. I didn't run any paid ads on my page very often. I did early on, but then it seemed to do quite well organically, so I didn't waste throwing the money in there. And then here is where you would then have a green line should you have had any paid engagement. So you can see the difference between what your page was generating organically as opposed to what your page was when you paid for any sort of ads. Does that answer all the questions there? So now we'll move into Facebook Live videos. This one though, I'm gonna take you out of Rustic Pickle and I'm gonna take you in to home. And I'm going to take you into a group that some of you may be a part of right now. And if you're not, and you are a business owner, I highly recommend joining this group. It's been really great through the COVID response. And this is a group that has utilized live videos over the last, well, I think we're probably on 10 weeks now. I'm not quite sure how many weeks we've been doing it for, because it's all a blur. But this is a great group for business owners to join, and likely will be a really great group going forward, even after COVID is done, because it seems to have created a lot of engagement and a lot of relationships between business owners and stakeholders within the business community in Medicine Hat. So going back to being authentic, this is a great way to show your true selves and to be able to find your Doris. Many of us suffer from imposter syndrome. I'm one of those included. This is way out of my comfort zone, even doing this right now. But customers and clients love to know who is behind the brand. So again, like stories, live video is another way for us to be able to reach our customers in that moment on a more authentic level. And live videos can be used in many different ways. So let's just say that, again, I can go back to Rustic Pickle a little bit, that my manufacturer from Toronto has shipped all of my stuff and it's arriving today. And I know exactly that the truck is on the way, coming to my house right now, and I'm gonna run a live video of the delivery driver delivering all the massive boxes of clothes to my front doorstep. And then I'm going to open the boxes with everybody there to give them a sneak peek of what's going on. It's a live unboxing of items or showcasing new things live, or even just talking about what's happening in your store at that moment or your business at that moment is a great way to create buzz for when those, like for instance, that unboxing is a great way to create buzz for when I actually launch them on my website, that people can see them before, and now they're marking their calendars when the launch is going to be happening and when the release is going to be happening. You can also offer during that time, you can have people ask questions live in the moment about what you're showing them, or what color do you guys want to see, and people can respond and answer and that sort of thing. But I'll talk a little bit, and because I can show you actually what's happening in a live video, how the live videos have really, really benefited the YXH business support group. So this group was started as a way to connect the business community during the COVID-19 pandemic. It became a resource hub that has been consistently providing live video broadcasts every weekday morning at 7:30. These lives have increased the engagement and sense of community in Medicine Hat for small business owners. And although this group was not started in a way to promote business, it's linked to Apex and Community Futures, which are two organizations that are actually available and readily available to help businesses in our community. So these live videos have definitely increased the camaraderie within the business community, and has provided an opportunity to local businesses to network on a social platform. We are seeing more and more people doing lives within that group, which is fantastic, because we're getting to know those industry partners, who they are before even meeting them again, going back to being that authentic side and letting people know who you are before they've even met you. And heck, even Lisa Kowalchuk loves doing lives, Lisa from the Chamber. And pre-COVID, she wasn't even on Facebook. She's seeing the value of lives and how it's making a difference for her organization, which is the Medicine Hat Chamber of Commerce, but also in the business community. So I'm going to show you, we'll go today. So Jennifer Asher was on this morning. And this is another way, again, we're seeing that this group is by Apex, Alberta. There's a way to tag posts in your groups as well. I didn't do that with Rustic Pickle because back then that feature wasn't available, but it is now. And you can tag specific important information so that when you have people in the group and they're just looking, they want to find an answer about HR support, they click HR support, and then any posts that are tagged HR support will come up. We'll click the live video series because we've tagged all the live videos with that. And it's very slow. But you'll see here that Lisa Kowalchuk is in here. There's a few, and you can go through and you can see all the live videos that people had done and who was on there. We had Selena from the food bank. There's Dee was on there, did a marketing communications live video. By doing these live videos that we did in this group set on every single day, people now, because they are at home, are looking forward to starting their day at 7:30 with their coffee, watching who is live on YXH Business Support. And lives are also saved too. So you'll see that that person was live, but they are, it does save. So you can see when you go through the discussion piece that there is, they're all on there. I was on there yesterday, again, out of my comfort zone. But then you can scroll through and we were giving previews as to who is going to be live. So now you're generating a little bit of excitement for people that are going to be live. In here, we've also created events, which were, we've shared some of the events from these webinars in there as well, because they are being hosted by Apex. They were put on the page as well as in this group, because this group is owned by Apex. So does anybody have questions about live videos? I can show you how to actually go live. If you click the more button here, you'll see there's a drop down that says live video, and you click that and it will kick you to the producer page where you can go live. And then you would just shut it off. You can see the comments on the side. You can answer them by talking or go back later and answer the comments in the post later on. So we've done that a number of times where we've provided links after or responded. So Jen went in this morning and commented on Natasha's post after she was done her live video. It's a great way to again create that authentic engagement. Does anybody have questions about live video? Nope, sorry. Are we looking? People will also get notified in their notifications. So if you go live in a group, you'll get notified. I believe Facebook pages as well will send a notification when you go live in there, and it will say, you know, Kristine Russell is live in YXH Business Support up in the notifications if you're in that group. So you'll see when somebody's on live. They want you to join at that time. So Facebook is a little bit more open to provide those notifications because they know that a live video is likely more authentic engagement than, say, a posted video.
Kristine, Jamie was asking about the watch parties. Do you want to talk about that? We've been seeing some good success with those.
Yeah, we can talk a little about, so watch parties work in a way that you can, it will notify your users that you're using them. You can utilize a watch party when you are when you're in a group, or you can create your own live with a watch party. There's a lot of different ways, but your personal network will know that you have started a watch party in a group, and it will allow people to join and watch with you, even if you're not part of the group or that page. If I click it, I might have to kick myself out. I don't know what it's going to do. So here's what you can do. You can do a number of things. You can add a video and of that you've pre-recorded, and then put it as a watch party. So then people will be able to watch with you. You can send invites directly to people while that video is going, or you can watch together. And so you're the one that's in control of who is of the videos that are being played. There's one of the things we always suggest too is test out what your test your market a little bit too. So if doing a live video is better, or because you can choose out of all these videos too. So we could start a watch party with Jennifer's by clicking on it, and then people will know that you're having a watch party with that video, and they can watch along with you if they haven't seen it. Or you can add your own video, and you can put a little caption what it is, and then you can post. So it would be Kristine Russell has a watch party in YXH Business Support, but you can do it in your own group. You can do it on your own personal. So there's a lot of different ways to utilize watch parties. The analytics, I'm not sure of how effective they are. It does depend on what your business is and what your, I don't want to do that though. I just want to get out so I don't do it by accident. Kind of how like we always say test. Like you don't know what's going to work until you actually try. And you, again, like Dee said, you would be surprised. The ones that you think are going to do really well might not be the ones that do really well, but then the one that you don't think is going to do really well does amazing. So just testing out what works and what doesn't work for your business. Don't be scared to do that. Things can always be deleted after the fact. I mean, obviously don't put on something that's not appropriate. But
so there was a follow-up to that question. So this is a way to encourage people to watch particular video content from other pages or sites?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, or your own. So you can still upload your own video, but you can. So maybe I'll give an example. Let's say that there was a good news broadcast that was put on earlier in the day from a reputable source that had to do with COVID or the COVID relief or things like that. I could go in and create a watch party in YXH Business Support and pull that video out and share it. So let's say it was on, I don't know, Global News or something along those lines that was worthy of sharing in that group. There's a way to actually rewatch that video and it be watching live for people to see. Because again, you get that notification. If I was just to take the link and share it as a post, some people might not see that, whereas they will see that watch party being started. So Facebook provides so many great tools to enhance your business social media footprint. You just need to decide which ones will be most effective for your business in the digital world. This goes back to always having a plan prior to doing something. It will ensure that when you test something, you are testing it in a way that you should get maximum value that it could provide you. Also keep in mind that nothing is a quick fix and it takes time for all of this to build, but stick with it. We find that for some industries, a strong social media strategy will take 6 to 12 months to produce results for a client, especially if you're in the service industry. For some service industries, it can even take take 12 to 24 months, but the results will come as long as you're consistent. And once it starts, it's like the funnel really opens up. Do we have enough time if I was to touch quickly on business and ad manager, just so that people know what it is, where it is, and how to find it?
I think people have the ability, I mean, I like to stay within time too, but I think people have the ability to leave if they need to.
Okay.
And so it wouldn't be a terrible thing for you to go ahead and do that. And anybody who has to leave, they can always go and check it out on the YouTube page afterwards, and they can just fast forward right through to the last few minutes or whatever if they're interested.
So, and this one won't be very long actually. So business manager and ad manager. Business manager serves as a one-stop shop to manage business tools, business assets, and employee access to these assets. It also serves as a place to create ads for your business. And this is a platform that you need to sign up for, even if you have a Facebook business page already. So I don't know if you want to pop in the, if you want to write this down, the way to get to it is business.facebook.com. And then you'll be able to go in there and then create your profile through Business Manager. I don't know if you want to put up a poll and see if anybody has Business Manager already. I don't know if it's relevant. I can still go through it, but just so that you guys know, this is the screen you'll see when you have set up your profile and you have it up. Once you have your account set up, you can link your page to it. One of the benefits, biggest benefits of having a Business Manager account is that it provides a separate platform for you to manage your business ads. You will not be able to create any ads on Facebook without it. You'll be able to boost posts through pages, but in order to create separate ads, you'll need to have a Business Manager account to do that. You can also create a Facebook pixel, which can be embedded onto your site to track any conversions from those ads. Another benefit is that utilizing Business Manager prevents you from accidentally posting a post meant for your business on your personal feed. When I first started my shop, I can't even tell you the number of times I posted on my personal page my business post. That was also prior to Pages app being developed. So now that Pages app is there, it does make it a little bit less, it makes it a little bit less or a little bit easier to not post to your personal page as it used to. You can also, another benefit of Business Manager is that you can also add agencies to manage your ads in your business. So if you're deciding to use a marketing firm to manage your social media, this is a great option to have set up as it provides a seamless handover. And then you still have access to the account, even if you have an agency looking after your social media needs. Business Manager, however, can only be accessed through your desktop. So if you're a user of the Pages app on your mobile device, you're okay to carry on posting from Pages on your mobile device if you like, but if you're wishing to run an ad, you need to do so from your desktop through Business Manager. So I'll show you up here. This is where it would give you a preview of your ad account performance. Again, I don't have any ads running and I don't know the last time I ran an ad. You'll probably see when I click on it. And so now you can go, this is a link to take you to your page where you can post, you can see all the analytics again, just like we did kind of on the regular Facebook profile. Let's move this out of the way. And then you can go to your business settings here to be able to create an ad. Okay. We might be able to do something separate for this. We'll see kind of how many questions come after this. But this is where you can create your ads up there. It'll show your pages up here. It'll show your linked Instagram accounts here. This is where you'd set up your payments so that you can pay for your ads. Up here, you'll go, there's an events manager page, so you can also create events from here if you'd like. Let's not check my account quality because again, it's not very active, so I'm not sure if I'm a good example to be showing, but we'll go to ads manager here. And again, I don't think, it's not letting. I have to say this isn't the most user-friendly, unfortunately, platform. Again, this is another one that you would think they would have made a little more user-friendly, but in some ways I think they make it less user-friendly because you end up paying more money because you're not setting up ads the right way because it's very hard to navigate. What else can I show you in here? You can go in here and you can see your So here you can see all my published posts. You can create a post from here. That's not where I want to be. I don't know why I did that. So you can see all the published posts from here. You can have schedule. You can see your schedule posts. Again, you can create a post and schedule it from here if you'd like to. To me, I feel like using the actual page platform on Facebook is a lot more user friendly and visually. It's just a little bit more visually appealing. I believe that this was also set up because sometimes businesses were starting pages, but they weren't being started from a personal account. So if you have a business page, maybe this is a good poll question though, quickly too. Did you start your business Facebook page from your personal account? Is that okay to ask? Is that confusing to ask? D?
Did you start a business page from your personal account?
Yeah. Is that
I guess I would just hope that everyone on here has a personal account for their business page. Yeah.
Yeah, because otherwise I think they would know how to use this because this would have been the only way they could start a page without having a personal account linked to it.
What I would ask is if in the comments, if there is anyone that let's say, I know that, not to pick on the chamber, but years ago, someone at the chamber made a personal profile that was Medicine Hat Chamber, and then they created a business page that was connected to that. And that was years ago. But if that's the way your page has been set up, then we would recommend that doesn't happen. Because there's several reasons, purely even from a sharing point of view and inviting people to your page, which Kristine reviewed in 101. So if you have done that, just connect with either Kristine or I, and we can help you work around that. We did put up the poll for Instagram. It does look like there are individuals interested in Instagram. I know that we probably lost a few people during the webinar just because we had to go over time, but I do think that Instagram would be great to host, and Kristine has seen great success with Rustic Pickle through Instagram and with many of the clients that she manages as well.
Okay. Well, does anybody have questions with this? This was a little bit one step further so that I could show you that there was this platform available to use so that you could set up ads. So that's if you are going to be setting up paid, fully created ads, not boosted posts, this is where you would need to do that. Does anybody, I don't have time, we don't have time today to talk about actually how to set up an ad. Again, those are a lot more in-depth kind of training that I'm not sure would be great to do on a webinar.
That might be something you do in smaller groups, right?
Yeah, and probably back closer to when we're able to actually teach in person, where we can help troubleshoot any of the users that are going to try and do it. It's a webinar is a little bit tough. It's a lot more of a hands-on, in-depth process.
Yeah, Jamie, don't set up a Facebook business page as a personal page. You have your personal profile, and then your personal profile connects to a business page. That's how you should have it set up. Sorry, I'm just answering one of those questions for you, Kristine.
Yeah. And I think,
but and just for anyone that is on here, and if you're wondering, why we're suggesting that we might want to have either smaller groups or even one-on-one with the ads. We really see the benefit of more that hands-on work directly with you based on your business objectives and who you're trying to connect with and the platforms. When we've watched, we've even attended as individuals the mass training sessions, and the challenge with those mass training sessions is they're trying to make the one size fits all, and through our experience, one size never fits all. Rarely do we look good in muumuus, right? So we look best when we're wearing a tailored suit. So if we can take that approach with our social media and try and tailor it specifically for your business, it's going to bring more value. So all these tips that Kristine is telling you, these are easy to have in a group session because it does apply to everyone. But then you have to determine how you can take those tips and now make it work directly for your business, whether you're retail, whether you're service, whether you're tourism. Everybody has unique needs. And so now you have to take those tips and tricks and make it work for you.
Did that answer your question, Jamie?
Well, Trevor Moore does work in our office, Sandra, on a regular occasion, and he's the analogy ninja. So it actually is kind of we have to stay on our A game because of Trev. Oh, good. I'm glad.
But I came up with the poop all on my own, in case anybody's wondering. Okay, that Trevor had nothing to do with the poop.
Honestly, Kristine, you would fit in so well with my family. My daughters love to talk about poop.
Yeah, she has the shittiest analogies.
Oh, you're so funny.
Okay, well, before this degrades any further, although it isn't running live anymore, it looks like we're down to sort of half of our attendees. We've gone about 25 minutes over, which is totally fine. Again, it'll be available on the Apex YouTube channel, and I'm sure that Tag will have a copy of it as well. And really appreciate everybody coming out, and Kristine, you especially. Like, you're just a guru. You answered all my questions.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
Everybody else's questions, and running through it the way that we did it today was really great. Although I do still have some questions that I will likely get in touch with you directly.
Okay. Yeah, and again, if anybody has questions, feel free to get in touch with us. I'd be more than happy to help as best I can. Even industry related questions, I think on your pages too. I don't mind helping there. Just give you a few ideas based on your industry. But I talked about poop, and I talked about retail, and we've talked about service, and Facebook can be used effectively for all types of industries. You just need to decide where you should be and what you should be posting and who you're talking to.
Are you typing, Dee?
Yeah, okay. To the group.
Oh, I think, yeah, Jamie, I'll put my email address in here.
I thought you were I was going to put Kristine's email address in, but I thought, oh no, Dee's doing it, so I don't have to.
Oh no, I was
there.
Perfect.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it. I think that's all I got.
Well, that was spectacular. I appreciate it. I got a bunch of notes. I'm going to go play.
Yeah. Thanks so much for having me again.
Okay. And it looks like we'll probably try to set up an Instagram at some point.
I like it. Instagram's my favorite.
Sounds good.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care.